The cultural and linguistic variety that English learners contribute should be seen as assets in the classroom. Diversity is to be celebrated and can be leveraged to foster a rich learning community. Let's talk briefly about how we as educators utilize diverse learning groups to support English learners in the classroom. The guiding principles of culturally responsive teaching and how stakeholders work in recognition of this to build strong home-school partnerships. Culture has a significant influence on teaching as well as learning. The array of unique background brings new perspective and experience. Culturally responsive teaching refers to the educational practice of incorporating the cultural background of all students in the classroom in pursuit of creating an inclusive and equitable environment for students. At its core, it is a student-centered approach, aligning instruction and material to students, learning styles, cultural norms, and communicative preferences. Students are encouraged to participate in the cultural and social element of their community, in the process gaining a better understanding of their peers and themselves as it relates to the melting pot they find themselves in. Culture competence refers to a teacher's ability to understand, communicate with, and effectively interact with students across cultures. When working with English learning students, it's an important component allowing for responsive practice that listens to the academic, social, and emotional needs. Teachers reflect on their own cultural biases and develop an understanding of other cultures in the process of instruction, acting as a safeguard to equity. Differences aren't obstacles to instructions, but rather assets. Not only does it make learning inclusive, but engaging. In integrating the cultural values and beliefs of English learners into instruction, we add diverse perspectives into curriculum and use instructional material that reflect their lived experiences. For instance, if a student is from a family that values the tradition oral storytelling, a lesson unit can be utilized. The topic of folk tales or folk heroes. Anansi the spider to inform. You can utilize their native language and English, allowing them to practice language skills while honoring tradition and culture. Culture influences communication styles, how you may engage with new information, and how you perceive the world you find yourself surrounded by. School and classroom environments strongly influence language acquisition. These environments must instill a sense of belonging, where language learners feel safe to take risks, make mistakes, and engage in the dialogue taking place. Achieve this by providing visual aids where needed, collaborative activities, and the use of materials that reflect the cultural makeup of the classroom. Academic content and activities should be language rich, holding space for the littering of informal language practice. This is all to say, be mindful of the cultural norms of your class and how they may interplay and interact with one another as well as the instruction. Take the active steps in creating an inclusive environment, developing culturally relevant teaching practice, differentiated instruction, peer relationships that promote language development. Celebrate multiculturalism in the classroom by reflecting it into the content. Blend multicultural reading material into the curriculum, using texts that resemble the cultures of your students. Celebrate multicultural holidays. traditions, and historical events that are important to students and family. Culturally, showcases, concerts, and potlucks are but few of the opportunity in which students can represent something unique about their culture and or background. This helps students see themselves in their academic environment and what they're learning, boosting engagement and confidence. When it comes to using cultural assets to your advantage, encourage students to use their home language as a bridge to English. Whether it's through dual language projects, peer translation, or allowing students to read or write in both of their languages. This approach does not devalue the merit of one's native language in the pursuit of learning a new one. It also creates deeper understanding for language learners as they can transfer knowledge from one language to another. Make this an opportunity to build better home-school connection as well through involving families in the process, through making inclusive homework activities that may require family engagement. Again, the native languages of the classroom should be seen as valuable resources in the aims of learning. In responsive teaching, differentiated instruction is key. Using all the approach strategies and resources meet students at their current level of proficiency individually. Some students may need more visual aid than others. Some may need more scaffolding or more oral practice. Each learner has their own strengths and needs. Additionally, for students with special needs, individualized accommodation such as extra time on task or one-on-one support are necessary to help them succeed. Don't be afraid to include assistive tech or STEM elements as a means to support language development. In terms of meeting the social and emotional needs of English learners, develop activities that build empathy, respect, and communication skills into daily routines. Group activities where students work collaboratively with peers from diverse backgrounds allow room for this. Families bring valuable knowledge and skill from their cultural and linguistic backgrounds. Many have strong connections to their cultural heritage, providing opportunities for students to learn about their history, traditions, and languages outside of school. Using these funds of knowledge in the classroom allows an educator to build on prior experiences of students in order to create more meaningful learning outcomes. The home experience has as much learning opportunity as the school experience. Recognize and encourage this idea. This is why all stakeholders must work to build strong partnership between home, school, and the community. Regular communication with families, bilingual resources, and opportunities where families can participate in school activities. Family nights, workshops, or cultural celebration that invite families to share their language, traditions, and knowledge with the school community. When it comes to family engagement, be intentional in communicating. This looks like translated newsletters, phone calls, or meeting in the family's native language. Connect with local organizations or community centers that serves English learning families, providing resources and building a network of support for families outside of school. In summation, practicing culturally responsive teaching, understanding the diverse needs of ELs, and building strong homeschool connection, we take the steps in creating a more inclusive and equitable learning environment. Take this pseudo infomercial as and ignition for your own creative instructions in the classroom. Thank you.